Hi, I'm Ben Coleman, CEO of Performer IT, a Crest consulting partner in SI. And today we're here to talk about AI and specifically Agentforce, particularly as we're the first partner to have implemented Agentforce within EMEA. We actually worked on an implementation of the pilot scheme, and we have since rolled out GA for a number of clients, and we're also working on some current implementations. Today, I'm joined by one of our consultants, Tim Locke, aka Service Cloud King, and we're going to talk about how small and medium-sized businesses can make the most out of AI and extract value outside of just the standard sales and Service Cloud use cases. So firstly, Tim, tell us a little bit about what you do at Perform IT.
Well, I've been a consultant at Perform IT for 4 years now, helping customers with various different clouds, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud and Experience Cloud, but most recently helping customers with the Einstein features of Salesforce to get the most out of AI.
So we're here today to talk about AI for SMBs, that's small and medium-sized companies. And I wonder if people might see AI as this really complex, large-scale technology that's really only for large enterprises, and they're kind of rolling out over huge programs. But I also think that's the reality is that's not the case. So the question for you, Tim, is why do you think it's really important for small and medium-sized businesses to start leveraging AI now?
I think the main reason is you can boost your efficiency of your staff and your employees. A lot of the Salesforce AI features are use case specific, so these can help you with things like wrapping up a case quicker, lead scoring, and a creation of personalized emails. So these might take your employees quite a lot of time to do, but using AI, you can get these done really quickly, and then your consultants, your team can focus on other things that may be a sort of higher revenue activities within the business. As it's based on the Salesforce platform, it's already built in and integrates with your existing Salesforce data, which is another great feature. And a lot of the Einstein and AI functionalities are either low code or no code, so you don't need a huge team of developers to get them started, and also a lot quicker to implement than some other features in the past.
Interesting. So recently I heard somebody within Salesforce talking about the fact that they are now repositioning themselves as a workforce company rather than a CRM provider. And I think obviously those things that you mentioned there, particularly by using the agentic technology, AI, to do some of the work that humans are doing already and kind of augment them and save time and increase efficiencies. That really kind of rang true for me, and I think it's interesting that Salesforce are now repositioning themselves. So as you say, it's the saving a lot of manpower, and actually rather than replacing it, allowing companies to put that manpower to better, higher value use, doing more complex tasks, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think a lot of people are using Salesforce for service, either contact center or also sales. And there's a lot of functions and things you do every day in Salesforce that are quite manual. They'll be updating pick lists manually, even a simple reply to a message. So using AI, you can take that work away from your team, and they can focus on the closing the deals and keeping the customers as happy as possible.
I guess AI for the small and medium-sized business is really allowing them to compete on the same playing field as the much larger enterprises, because the technology is so new and because people are still, in the early adoption phase at the moment. Obviously, we know that all of the research and kind of statistics show us that this is going to explode. But at the moment, basically, the small, medium-sized business can compete with the larger one with technologies like Agentforce within Salesforce. And obviously, that's going to be a huge advantage because they can scale without having to hire lots of staff. So that's a really exciting opportunity for those small and medium-sized businesses. So with that in mind, I'm just interested to find out, Tim, in your experience working with some of our clients, what kind of use cases are you seeing out there? What sorts of things are our clients interested in using AI for? And not just Agentforce, be interesting to know about some of the other Einstein features and ISV applications that are out there, which also have AI embedded in them. So maybe if you could just give us some examples, that'd be great to hear about.
Yeah, so for one of our clients, we've taken advantage of the AI's conversion of sort of voice to text. So we have an engineering company that visits various sites around the world, and after reviewing the sites, they write reports, which are then fed back internally. Obviously, previously they were doing everything handwritten, and obviously after they left the site, so obviously there might be a bit of a delay. So we implemented a few different features. One of the ability to record their voice on their mobile phone through the Salesforce app, and then the voice recordings were sent to Salesforce and then automatically transcribed and summarized, and then from there they can send those reports to various people within the organization, and obviously logging into Salesforce they can see them as well, which is a really nice feature. And using Salesforce knowledge through a chatbot can also be done with AI, which is something we've done for a customer. So rather than having to talk to someone who's reviewing and checking exactly how to solve a problem, they can access the knowledge base in Salesforce and get their questions answered automatically.
So it's almost like the agent is guiding the customer to get the right information faster.
Yeah, absolutely, that's right. And another great feature, I think, of AI is how it understands text written in various different ways. So obviously in the past with scheduling meetings, things like that, with previous chatbots, there may be some issues with understanding the dates. But AI is so good that it can understand any way the date's written, but also check scheduling and reschedule appointments, events, things like that, which is particularly useful for any field service Lightning users.
Yeah. And I believe one of our clients has rolled out some of the features within the English language, but they also operate in other parts of Europe, and I think they're looking at German next. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, and presumably that's quite easy for so whereas obviously a human agent, so at the moment they would have to have staff, specific, English speakers or German speakers or a mix in different call centres. Presumably, those articles, they only need to be written in one language, but the agent can actually replay them to someone who's a German speaker in real time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think AI's ability to translate into any language with accuracy is something you can harness in Salesforce, which can certainly save you a lot of time. Previously, with creating something like a chatbot, you'd have to recreate every single step in a completely different language. So that is not necessarily the case anymore using AI features.
Yeah, so it's kind of reuse and speed to market. Basically, you can really quickly, and I guess that's probably quite a that may have in the past been a bit of a blocker, perhaps, to thinking back to our considering the small medium-sized enterprise, that hiring people with those language skills might be a blocker for them moving into other foreign markets, but actually this might help in terms of being able to still service clients, or at least have a smaller investment in human manpower.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess one of the fantastic things about working with Salesforce is the fact that it's so adaptable. So if you think about all the projects we've done over the 13 years we've been helping clients out implementing Salesforce, we're always able to adapt and mold Sales Cloud or Service Cloud as the sort of kind of two key original pillars of the platform to so many different use cases. So it's not just necessarily about a sales function or a sales driven organization and vice versa, that's Service Cloud has to be in a call center. If I think back, we've done all sorts of things like helping customers control their quality of service and auditing, having ISO and other types of compliance with Service Cloud doing that. I guess it's going to be the same thing for Agentforce, right? In that just because there is Salesforce has the Service Cloud agent at the moment. We're obviously really excited about the fact that very soon we're going to see that sales agent. We know there's marketing agents and so many more agents that Salesforce will come up with. But I guess the real opportunity here is the fact that we'll be able to not only leverage those in different ways across different industries, but also presumably we could actually create our own bespoke agents as well.
Yes, I think we were in the early days with Agentforce and the things it can do. Looking for the future, I think there's definitely potential for a whole variety of agents to be created. For example, an agent that books travel, or an agent that assists with recruitment, or bringing on new students to a school or a college. So it's quite exciting times, and I think in the future on the App Exchange you'll be able to purchase agents that are ready made for you for your particular industry or use case.
Oh, that's really exciting. Yeah, so that's a real place to keep an eye on then. So see what ISVs are going to produce basically and put on the App Exchange for sale.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the coming year and for the years to come, we're going to see a real boom in the various different agents that are available. Obviously, Salesforce are rolling out a few over the next few months, but I think there's going to be no limit really to what can be achieved for agents and Agentforce.
Yeah, that's really exciting. So, yeah, that makes sense. I could see that there will be agents, that are really kind of niched into specific industry verticals, and I guess they will be able to kind of interplay with those that are provided by Salesforce and other providers as well. So it's almost like you'd be able to buy different agents that are really great at doing a certain specific set of tasks within a topic area, but actually kind of mold them all together to produce kind of a super agent, if you like, that can do all manner of things within your business.
Yeah, I think it's great for small and medium-sized businesses. In a lot of those businesses, people are wearing a lot of different hats and doing a lot of different roles. So it allows them to focus on their role while also having the agent to assist them with these other things that they're involved with from day to day.
So, with regard to Agentforce, what advice would you give to small and medium-sized businesses who are considering getting started with Agentforce? Like, what should they do? What do they need to think about? How might they go about actually formulating a plan, Tim?
I think small businesses need to think about a solid use case. A lot of people come to us, a lot of customers, potential customers come to us and say, I want AI, I don't know what for. But you really need to know what problem you want AI to solve. So, something like running a report, checking an issue that you might have that crops up with your service, for example. You want to look for something that sees high volume, but maybe quite an easy fix, and maybe start there as a starting point. If you've got any automations or flows that are already in place to help you with that, even better, because you can combine those with the Agentforce features. So yeah, that's just one example, but I think analysing a problem or a clear use case to start with is really important for any small business. And we offer some very reasonable packages to help companies with that, and also we're offering free workshops just to help businesses find their ideal use case to start with. I think it's great just to start small and then expand big. And luckily, Salesforce ecosystem and AI will let you do that. So yeah, anyone who's interested, please get in touch.
Fantastic. Okay, right. So basically, leverage Salesforce.
Yeah.
I look at the data you've already got in your Sales Cloud or your Service Cloud, because that's going to tell us, give us an idea of what use cases we should be looking at. Like you were saying, what are the common reasons why clients are calling us and asking for help, or the biggest volume of sales inquiries or questions we get. So that's the first thing you were saying. Second thing is look for the least complex of those.
Yeah.
And then cherry on the top is go for stuff where we've already got some automations we could leverage, right?
Yeah, if possible.
Fantastic. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. So and as you say, we can help people in terms of their planning through those free of charge workshops that we do, and then get them started with a quick start.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Tim, I've often heard that people talk about data being the fuel for AI. So, with that in mind, is there anything that clients need to bear in mind in terms of the data that they've got within their business at the moment?
Yeah, I think the quality of data is really important for the AI features to work correctly, and also knowing where the data is. Is it all in Salesforce or is it outside Salesforce? If it is, it can be linked in various ways, so that's not a problem. So that's something we include in our workshops that we ask the customers to think about that, because without robust data, you're not going to get the maximum results that you can get.
Okay, interesting. And are there any limits in terms of, I presume maybe there's a cut-off point where they need a certain amount of records for Salesforce to actually be able to work, for the agent to make, to communicate basically. And also, I guess maybe with some of the AI features, again, is it a case of like more data means better predictions and better output?
Yeah, I think in terms of the lead scoring and opportunity scoring, you do need a certain number of records for it to work effectively. Likewise, cases and chats. The AI can refer to previous chats and conversations to help them solve problems. So without any sort of base data, you'll struggle. That's something we talk through with the customers when they come on board with us.
Fantastic. So that's a really interesting point that you've made there on data. I guess if somebody finds that perhaps maybe their data is not as clean as they want, or perhaps they don't have as many records as they might like just at the moment, obviously we've been talking quite a lot about Agentforce. Obviously the agentic era of AI is the big buzzword at the moment, and obviously Salesforce are out there first with it. But I think that we probably shouldn't forget all the fantastic features that are already in Salesforce and have been out for quite some time. You mentioned earlier a number of different Einstein AI features that clients can leverage right now, and actually have been around. And I guess because those features have been around for some time now, they're kind of tried and tested. Maybe you could just give us a few examples of some of those things that clients have already got access to and potentially just need to turn on and start leveraging.
Yeah, a really common one, which we find quite a few customers haven't taken advantage of, is Einstein Activity Capture, which allows you to sync up your contacts with Outlook or Gmail, and then bring emails across into Salesforce, just so you've got that 360 view when you view an account page, or the emails that you've contacted them with, and it saves you the manual task of entering contacts manually in accounts and things like that. So that's a quick one to set up, and it's a real quick win, a good starting place, I think, for a lot of the customers. But yeah, within Einstein, there's quite a few features now aside from Agentforce, particularly regarding Service Cloud, with the manual updating of automatic updates of cases, and Sales Cloud with the Einstein opportunity scoring, forecasting as well.
Yeah, okay. And another feature that just comes to mind is the next best action. So that's something that's been out for a while.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so next best action can suggest the next action for an agent to take, which helps them wrap up cases or the work that they're working on, without having to think about what to do next.
Great. So I guess that's really useful if you've got quite an immature workforce in terms of experience, then potentially those features can actually help train them on the job to kind of point them in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just earlier we talked about data being one of the challenges around implementing the AI and Agentforce features. Obviously in terms of quality of that data, the volume of it, and also the accessibility of that data within organisations. But within your experience, are there any other challenges that small, medium-sized businesses might face when they're trying to implement either an Agentforce agent or some of the AI features?
Yeah, I think with such a big change to an organisation that it can be, it's sometimes difficult to get stakeholders on board with the changes. So we try to work with our customers just to help them understand how it can benefit their company, and then that can obviously be passed on to the key decision makers, But yeah, that's a real challenge because there's so much it can do, and it is new technology that some people are a bit wary of it. And I think another thing is internally, once we have implemented some AI features or Agentforce, training it out to the users and getting them on board as well, because they're used to working in one way. They might be wary of AI, is it taking away my job? But just showing them that it is there to help them. It's there to take away the jobs that maybe could be quite boring and repetitive, and allow them to work on something that's far more interesting and beneficial to them and the company.
Yeah, so there's a real change management piece, hearts and minds.
Yep.
People understanding what it's going to do, what it's not going to do, and as you say, making sure that as a leader within a business, you're being clear with people about the fact that, addressing any concerns they might have, as you say, thinking that they're going to be replaced by AI is definitely an important consideration. Yep. For sure. And just out of interest, so in your experience with our clients who have actually, adopted AI, some of the AI features, and particularly also recently our clients who've implemented Agentforce, what would you say the feedback is like from the users, and how have they been involved with the actual, within the projects of rolling out Agentforce? Have they done presumably a bit more than we haven't just kind of switched it on, given them a training course and said off you go? So just interested to find out.
With any implementation and rollout, we make sure we engage all the stakeholders, whether it's the key decision makers or the end users as well. So just keep them in the loop in terms of what's coming and what the features are going to be, but also training is really important, whether it be us up from IT conducting the training, or we train the trainers to do the training. So we're happy to do both approaches, but that's real key, just making sure everyone's involved, because I think when the end users are involved from an early point, they're less resistant and they get the best out of it. But for the the implementations that we have done with Einstein and Agentforce, the feedback's been really positive.
Great. So we've made a real positive improvement to people's working lives. I did hear on the latest Agentforce install that we did that we actually got a lot of positive feedback from the user base there, because we involved them with the testing, and so they were trying their best to break it and really test the agent that we built. Thankfully they couldn't, and they were really impressed with the output that it was giving. And I suppose that's kind of helping with the hearts and minds, because they've been involved with it, the testing it, they understand what it can do. Presumably therefore that means they understand actually this is a positive change to their working days, because as you were saying earlier, they're going to start to do some more complex, valuable tasks rather than just kind of doing the simple stuff day in, day out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's important to get those users involved in testing as well, and to test the AI Agentforce implementation as rigorously as possible. But yeah, luckily we did that in the most recent project, and it worked out really well.
Fantastic. And I presume that, for me, I think one of the important things with Salesforce's Agentforce technology is that kind of trust layer, the safety mechanisms that are embedded into it. And I'm guessing those are probably some of the things that the users that you've worked with that are doing some of that testing and trying things out. I guess they probably can see that from the testing they're doing, and hopefully that gives them more confidence that this technology is not going to damage their brand or their business, and it's going to behave in a way that they would.
Yeah, absolutely. I think AI's been in the news quite a lot, and there's been obviously lots of positive stuff and maybe some negative stuff about gathering information, that kind of thing. So we just explain the technology to the stakeholders, the Einstein trust layer, which prevents personal information going into the GPT, and that's what makes it different, maybe from some other systems. But just understanding the technology and the architecture usually puts people's mind at ease. But yeah, that is a concern, and that's one sort of obstacle you might need to overcome if you were to implement Agentforce. But yeah, it's a very safe system with the Einstein trust layer. So yeah, nothing to worry about.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I guess that's a real key game changer, if you like, with Salesforce's Agentforce. If you were to go and try and build something yourself, and you mentioned there ChatGPT, but that or any other LLM, if you were to actually build that yourself, you wouldn't have that trust layer, and that's something that you'd have to kind of build from scratch. And then I guess the other thing is that these LLMs, they're changing from day in, day out. There's new revisions. So I think I guess I'd be right in saying you'd need to be pretty careful if you were going to try and build this stuff yourself, because you could build something that's pretty much immediately out of date.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Salesforce has the ability to add different LLMs, even ones that companies might have created themselves if they need to. But for the smaller companies, as you mentioned, they can use the already existing ones without the need to spend all that time and money, which previously would be impossible.
Yeah, and I guess that's really, again, for the small, medium-sized business, if you're not Barclays Bank and you can't keep, buying in, the latest LLM and, and kind of integrating to that, and, having sufficient funds and time to be able to, update that to perhaps a different LLM or a new version that's come out. I guess that's the beauty of Salesforce Agentforce, is that for the small, medium-sized business, it's giving you that safety net. That Salesforce are dealing with all of that themselves, presumably. So I guess they're just making sure that it will continually work, and you can leverage the latest LLMs.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, don't need to worry about that. It's all done automatically.
We've had a really great conversation today, Tim. It's been super interesting finding out all about your thoughts on AI and Agentforce within Salesforce for the small, medium-sized business. So I've just got one final question for you, and that is, so what are your kind of top three, or what do you think are some of the most important things that an SMB needs to be thinking about in terms of their AI roadmap? And particularly, if they don't have an AI roadmap, why should they be thinking about it?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is adoption. So AI isn't going to go anywhere, and the time to start thinking about it is now. Your competitors may be using it already, or they may not have been thinking about using it. But if you start the ball rolling, internally, learn about its features and what it could do for you, and think of when is the right time for you to roll it out. As we mentioned previously, you might need to get some of your data in order before you're using any of the features. But if that's something you need to do, so first you need to really think about that. Obviously, once you've done that, the potential to save money, the cost saving can be huge. You think of the sort of the time you spend doing these sort of repetitive menial tasks, which could be taken away and could free up an agent for actually helping retain customers and helping sort of sell as well. So there's a huge cost saving to be achieved through the implementation of AI. As we mentioned previously as well, the sort of compliance factor is huge. So it is a bit of a minefield with the sort of the trust layer. Are we making sure the AI's not allowed to do certain things? That's all included with Agentforce. So that trust layer, the sort of guardrails that you can put in place to stop the AI misbehaving. So yeah, they're probably my top three, I'd say.
Okay, interesting. So it's really about making sure that we take the competitive advantage. We don't want competitors to kind of steal a march on us, and start, developing a different, business model, or perhaps, kind of being able to come into, develop a price point that, if we're not ahead, then, we could kind of get left behind. And also, it's kind of picking up there, you were talking about not only the kind of opportunities for cost saving, but actually the opportunity to take advantage of other opportunities. So as you say, maybe freeing up people's time to cross-sell and upsell, as rather than just kind of servicing as well. And I think you're right. There's a lot of talk about compliance and having kind of corporate governance around AI and its use, and making sure that we're using it in the right way. So absolutely, those things all make sense. So if somebody is thinking about, as a result of our conversation today, if they're thinking that this is something that they need to get started on, I guess the best thing for them to do would be to jump on one of our no obligation free workshops, right? Just so that they can understand a bit more about what they can potentially do.
Absolutely, yeah. It's it's a free workshop. We've been doing a number of these. They've been going really, really well with customers from a variety of different industries. So yeah, if you're curious and it's something you're thinking about, even if you're not using Salesforce at the moment, get in touch and arrange a call. We're happy to help, and now is the time to start thinking about it at least.
Yeah.
Because once you start off small, then you can expand and add further features, functionality, which is a great way to implement AI, starting small and letting it grow. And Salesforce is the system that will grow with you, because it's so scalable. It's used by massive companies and small businesses as well. So pretty much anyone can get the benefits of AI in Salesforce.
Fantastic. So basically, jump on one of those workshops. We'll help you come up with the use cases, prioritize them, work on the ROI, and out of the back of that, basically have a roadmap.
Yep.
And so I suppose finally, for those who are absolutely itching to get on board straight away and really start delivering some results and make some big changes for their business, I guess they could look at our quick start packages, right?
Yeah, you can look at our quick start packages. Similar sort of thing in terms of defining the use case, starting small, but it's a great way to get dip your foot in AI, as it were, and then gives you that platform to build upon it, and then expand out to the further parts of your Salesforce org.
Fantastic. Yeah. So basically, the quick start allows somebody to dip their toe in the water, as you say.
Yep.
Make some some kind of small steps onto that AI pathway, start leveraging some of the features and functionalities.
Yep.
And I guess from that, they're going to understand what the technology does, start to understand how that affects change within their business and the change management around of it. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to do that. That's great. Well, thank you so much for your time today,
no
Tim. It's been a pleasure to have you on board, and we'll definitely get you back for another session. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks.